English with deck. So the sun is coming up nicely, perfect timing just to sit by the open office window. Allow the cool breeze to flow in through the wide open window into the stuffy office. The time is now 5:20 on a Saturday morning. It is absolutely beautiful. The day has just begun, and what will the day entail? Who knows? Dun dun dun. So dramatic, right? But no, seriously, I am sat here at my desk. I have the window adjacent to me, the window next to me, wide open, letting lots of morning air flow into the room, and just having a look as the sun rises. The birds are awake, you know, the day is beginning. It's a little bit cloudy, but definitely not an overcast today, I would say. Overall, pretty positive. And, you know, my belly is starting to rumble, grumble. Yes, I can feel it. Now, why is that happening? Am I ill? No. Am I hungry? Yes. You know, there is a big dilemma we face as we get a bit older, you know? When we're younger, it's very easy just to eat whatever you want, not care about the weight gain, not care about how full you'll feel for a couple of hours, the next few hours, the next day, you know? Because when we're younger, our metabolisms are in overdrive. We are usually a lot more active, you know, and we need to consume a lot more. So when we are younger, teenagers and young adults, we sort of just eat and eat and eat and eat quite often. Not all people, but a lot of people. And then as we get older, well, we generally need to slow down on that front simply because our bodies also slow down and our lifestyle probably slows down. And you know, recently I did come face to face with this dilemma. You know, I am a reasonably active person. I have led a reasonably active life most of my life. And I could and still can eat a lot breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know? But it does come to a point where, you know, you're eating a big breakfast every day and then you feel too full. You feel bloated, maybe, or lethargic. And then you eat lunch and you still feel the same. And then you eat dinner and then repeat. And I realized this, so I decided to cut back on breakfast. Now, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, as they say. And, you know, I am not advocating, I am not saying skip breakfast, it's great. No, 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 no. All I'm saying is that for my body, because as you'll hear in a minute, decided to just skip breakfast some mornings just to allow my body to digest the previous day's food. And therefore, on Mondays to Fridays, I generally skip breakfast and just wait till lunch. And then I have a light lunch and eat whatever I like for dinner. That way, my body can digest the food. It can sort of actually become hungry, and it gives me time just to, you know, enjoy the food properly for what it is. Now, that's not saying, you know, depending what happens, maybe a friend invites me for breakfast. Oh, sorry. Just had a big stretch. Maybe a friend invites me for breakfast. Therefore, of course, I have breakfast that day. This isn't a, you know, live or die situation. It's just a simple routine change. And then come to Saturday mornings and Sundays. as well. And yes, I decided, if I'm doing that Monday to Friday, give myself a break. So then that means on Saturday, Sunday, I just eat a regular breakfast, and a regular lunch and a regular dinner. The reason being that, well, Saturdays and Sundays are pretty long days. They're for relaxing. So I treat them as like a double cheat day. If that makes sense. Mm. And everyone is a little different. Some people love eating breakfast, skip lunch, and eat dinner. Some people skip breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner. Some people might just snack throughout the day. Graze. I've lived with people before who were definitely grazers. They might have a little breakfast, like some toast, and a little lunch. But generally, they stay full just by grazing a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here and a little bit there. And on top of that, of course, you have people who are, well, meal skippers. They just are too busy to eat, they don't get time to eat. And then there's other people who generally just eat huge portions every time. Maybe they are very sporty, maybe they have a very fast metabolism, maybe they just like to eat. Everyone is a little different. And one thing which is equally interesting, depending where you are in the world, depends on your breakfast habits as much as anything. Some cultures have a very light breakfast. Some cultures have a very heavy breakfast, depending on the climate around them. And, one thing which makes me laugh, just talking about breakfast, when you think of traditional breakfast for a country. Now, let's think about England, of course. It's like full English breakfast. But honestly, if you have a full English every day, well, you're going to have some health problems. And, for example, Japan. There's that whole traditional, it's like, I forget the name for it in Japanese as well, but anyway, it's like the traditional full course breakfast style meal, and you get like fish, miso, rice, some side vegetables, la di da di da. And sure, you might have that if you go to a Japanese style inn or whatever, or a hot spring. But honestly, you would not eat that every day. Apart from just the amount of food there, it takes time to cook and it's very time consuming and not cost effective, unless, well, it could be cost effective. It could be, but it's very expensive compared to, say, just a slice of toast or whatever. And, there are countless other examples of cultures around the world where the stereotypical breakfast is very different from the typical breakfast. Okay, well, I'd love to hear in the comments, what do you guys typically have for breakfast? Are you a breakfast skipper, a breakfast doer? Are you a toaster or a full Englisher? Everyone's different, so I'd love to hear what you have to say. Feel free to share your own experiences, and maybe we can compare them together. Okay, guys, great to hear from you today. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.